I- We have seen so far about simple programs in Python, but normally we have to compare one thing with the other. It is naturally we have to do. See, among 100 individuals in a class, who is the first rank, second rank, like that. In that case, we have to do some comparison. Or if there are 5 persons are drawing salary, who is getting the more salary and who is getting the least salary. Like that, the comparison has to be done. When the comparison has to be done, how it has to be represented in computers. That is what we are going to see. For that, we are going to discuss about logical expression as well as relational expressions. Based on that, if statement also. Now, in this presentation, we are going to discuss about the control statements. What is a control statement? Why it is used? Now, if you want to make the computer to execute a set of instruction, if a particular condition is satisfied or not, then we can use the if statement. This statement is called as a decision control statement or simply a control statement. Now, using this kind of control statements, we may execute a group of instruction or skip a set of instruction depending on the value of a variable or an arithmetic expression. If the value of an arithmetic expression is given, based on that, it will skip or do certain instruction. So this is what is done in a control statement. The various control statement or decision making statements available in Python are if statement, if else statement, if else if statement, if then else statement, or which is called as a nested if statement, inline if statement. Instead of discussing all the type of if statement in a single stroke, let us see the if statement alone first. Then we will improve upon, go for the other types of if statement. Now, the general form of an if statement is if followed by a relational expression, and then you should have some colon symbol. So double dot has to be there, colon should be there. Then based on that, it will do statement 1, statement 2, etc. up to statement n. Or if the relational expression is false, it will do statement m straight away. Now, if the relational expression is true, it will execute statement 1 to statement n and then come for statement m. If the relational expression is false, it will straight away come for statement m. Now, if you look at the statement that are given, if relational expression followed by you have semicolon, and then if you look at the statement m, the starting point of if relational expression as well as the statement m is same. So it should be same. That is, if the relational expression is false, it should execute a statement which is in line with the if statement. If it is true, then you are giving some indentation. Based on that, you are giving statement 1, statement 2, statement m. So it should follow in the same column. So then, if it is true, it will execute this statement. Otherwise, it will come for statement m. So, normal operation is the simple if statement, calculate the value of the relational expression, and if the result is true, it executes the statement which has some indentation that follow if statement. Otherwise, it executes the statement which has the same indentation as if statement. That is what I have explained earlier. Now, let us see the relational expression and how we are going to write this. Now, as we said earlier, relational expressions are used to compare two entities. These entities or quantities may be variables or constant or any valid arithmetic expression. The general form of a relational expression is entity 1, relational operator, and then entity 2. So this entity 1 and entity 2 may be a variable or a constant or a valid arithmetic expression. So it compares the entity 1 as well as entity 2 based on the relational operator that is given, and that relation may be either true or false. The true is represented as 1 and false is represented as 0. Let us see with some examples also. The various relational operators used are less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Here if it is equal to, we have to use double equal sign. Not equal to means exclamation mark as well as an equal sign. So these are the various relational operators, 6 relational operators that are used in Python. Let us see some examples. Given A is 6 and B is 4, the value of the relational expression A greater than B will be true, because 6 is greater than 4, so the result will be true. If pay is given as 30,000 and the value of relational expression is pay less than or equal to 20,000. So here it is 30,000. Now you are checking whether it is less than 20,000. It is not, it is 30,000. So the result will be false. Now if basic pay is given as 30,000 and DA is given as 10,000, then if you are giving the expression basic pay plus DA greater than or equal to 40,000, the result is 30,000 plus 10,000 is 40,000, so which is less than 45,000, so the result will be false. Similarly, if the ages of Aja, Arya, Swanik and Nikit are given as 16, 18, 6 and 2, then age of Swanik plus age of Arya not equal to age of Aja plus age of Nikit, the result will be true. Similarly, cost of mango and rice per kg are given as 10 and 35. If 20 mangoes and 5 kg of rice are purchased, then cost of mango into number of mangoes is equal to cost of rice and quantity. If you check this condition, the result will be false. Now, let us see, we want to find out the biggest of two numbers, A and B. Now here you are checking if A greater than B. If it is so, then you are making the value big is equal to A. If it is not, if A is greater than B, it is false. Then in that case, it will come to the next if statement when it check whether A is less than B. If it is so, then it will make it as big is equal to B. If that is also not true, it is false, then it will check if A is equal to B. Then if it is so, then you can make either big is equal to A or big is equal to B. Here we have assumed as big is equal to A, and then it will print big. So these are the statements that can be used to find out the biggest of two numbers A and B. Now, instead of having 3 if, it can be reduced to 2 if, as given in the next slide. So that is, if A is greater than or equal to B, you make big is equal to A. If that is false, it will check if A less than B. If it is true, you make it as big is equal to B, then print big. So these are simple if statement that can be used to find out the biggest of two numbers. Let us take a bigger example where we want to find out the biggest of 4 numbers, say 75, 87, 34 and 66. This has to be done using a program. Now the logic can be said like this. Suppose a teacher says in a classroom that I am going to give 4 numbers and you have to give the biggest of 4 numbers. And she said, don't use any paper or pen, you store the values in your mind and give the result. And simply says, I will be giving few numbers and then ask you to give the biggest number. This is what she said. Then this starts telling 75, then 87, 34, and 66. And once he said, you tell me the answer, everybody shouts at as 87. Now in this, what they are doing? When the teacher says the first number, they are storing that first number as the biggest in their mind. When she says the second number, she compare that number with the number in the mind, and whichever is big, they store it in the mind. Then get the third number, and if that is greater than the number which is stored in the mind, it will replace it, otherwise retain the same number itself. Similarly for the next number. So that is the logic that has to be used. Normally we are using in a classroom when we want to find out the biggest of 4 numbers. So for this, the algorithm is given in the next slide. So here the first thing is input the 4 numbers as A, B, C and D. Step 2 is move A to big. Now you compare big is less than B. If big is less than B, now B is the biggest, so move B to big. Otherwise it will come for step 4. If it is true, then it will do this and then come for step 4. If big is less than C, move C to big. Otherwise it will straight away go to 5. So if it is true, it will do the move statement and then go for the next thing. That is, it is replacing the big with the new value of B, C or D depending on the conditions. So as soon as that is over, it comes for the step 6. Then here output the value of big. So this is the logic or as well as the algorithm for finding the biggest of 4 numbers. This is what we are doing in our mind when the teacher is giving 4 numbers in a classroom. The program is like this. A is equal to integer, input, enter a value. B integer, input, enter a value. C also, here we are assuming all are integer. It can be float also. Then big is equal to A. If B is greater than big, you are making big is equal to B. If C is greater than big, you are making big is equal to C. If D is greater than big, you are making big is equal to D. So at the end of it, you will print the biggest of the 4 numbers. So finding the biggest of numbers, we are using these kind of control statements. Now we can simplify this program, or we can reduce the number of statements when we go for different kinds of logic. So that we will discuss in the subsequent classes.